Welcome to my daily review. Today is Thursday, May 16th, and we saw a little profit taking in the Nasdaq today. Thank you for watching. You are looking at a daily chart of the Nasdaq, which, just for a little review sake, saw a 32% run from October 26th to like March 21, saw a 9% pullback to about April 19th, and we've been rallying ever since. I don't want to make a line there because I want to zoom in and show you what's going on here. We've had 9 sessions, count them, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oops, today's 10. I'm a day behind. 10 days where the low of the index has been above this magenta line here, the 21. Today was the third day where the 21 has been above the 50 and the 10 crashed right through it, a while ago. So we're going to be heading into a power trend here unless we have a major sell-off. The first of next week, the first session that the Nasdaq is up. So I wouldn't wait, for a power trend to get aggressive. But it is, nice to know that we're trending in the right direction. A lot of people have difficulty, deciphering market direction, and there's, it's a critical component to being successful in the market is market direction and then your stock selection. So identifying market direction is pretty easy for us when we're in a power trend. So that's when we want to get aggressive. We make our money when it's doing this, and then when it pulls back, we kind of lighten up and don't lose as much, or if any, if we can possibly avoid it. And then now that we're in the power trend, we get more aggressive. Well, we're not in the power trend yet. I just want to point out, the Nasdaq was down 44 points or 0.26%, closed at 16,698. But the volume, for all you volume heads, we had a couple of big days of volume here recently, and then today. I don't know if this was related to options expiration tomorrow, or a lot of the penny stock and pot stocks and meme stocks are just getting massive volume. The top 10 most active stocks on the Nasdaq today were like penny stocks. AMD was in there, but there was pot stocks like Tilray and just some random, low budget, low dollar names that have massive volume. So that you take it with a grain of salt. A dollar volume is still volume, right? This is volume, not dollar volume. So anyway, that's why I don't really bother with volume. It's okay. The Nasdaq saw profit taking. You have to expect that after a move like this from 15,222 to 16,700. There's going to be some profit taking. It made a new high and pulled back. We saw that in a lot of stocks today too. They made new highs at the open, then some profit taking just came in, and that's normal. What you want to do with your stocks is to watch and see where we don't buy dips here. We buy the bounce following the dip. So you got to wait till these stocks start bouncing. And I'm not talking about Apple. This is like a 2023 trade today where the large cap, mega cap tech stocks held up okay, which made the index not look too bad. But underneath the surface, there was a lot of selling and a lot of damage getting done to, if you're Johnny come lately and bought yesterday, now you're underwater today, and that's why you don't chase stocks. Anyway, Apple, grinding higher. Looks like it's, wants to trade around the 190 level, maybe. I don't know. It looks good though. It's a double bottom here. It looks like it's a base on base pattern here for Apple. So it's been a long time in consolidating since this it made this 198 here way back in July of last year. So it's going on nearly a year where this thing has done nothing. All right, Microsoft, once again held up okay, down 0.5%. Like it traded higher than pulled back. It looks good, just above its 50. Google up today, and this is what I'm talking about, kind of masquerading these large cap tech stocks masquerading on the index some of the damage, which I'm going to get to here in a little bit. Amazon sold off on Wednesday, and then kind of followed through today, 1.2%. Just in this base, I talked about how this base needed a little bit of a handle here on Amazon. It got up to 189, then pulled back, and now, you know, it ran up quickly and now it's pulling back, which is what you want to see here. Nice little shakeout before moving higher. So Amazon's looking pretty good to me. Meta, I didn't look at this. I was kind of busy today, but Meta looks fine. Looks like an inside day, just down 1.7%. Not bad for Meta. Tesla, did not see Tesla today. It was up, of course it was, barely. It had that 37% move and gave some of it back, just wallowing below its 200. That looks terrible. NVIDIA, this one was up for most of the session, then pulled back towards the close. It's okay. Looks really good. They're going to report earnings on May 22nd, right here. May 22, so that'll be next Wednesday. Just gonna have to wait and see on that stock. AMD was one of the most actives today, and this one ran up to the 50, and we'll see if it can rally through its 50. I'm of the mindset that we're in a uptrend and heading into a power trend, and these stocks, stronger stocks, are going to rip through their 50. You can see it traded below it in the past, down here for a long time and then rallied through. So I wouldn't count AMD out. It looks pretty good to me. Qualcomm, this is one of the stocks we had on the ready list, but it got away from us, and you could see it's just give a very little back today. It made a huge move. That one looks good as well. Anyway, that's it for the semiconductors. I want to go to some of the shippers, and I had somebody ask me about Cadeler, and it's an ADR, and you can see that it provides wind farm installation. This is in the transportation shipping group, kind of a thinly traded stock, below $20, 150 shares per day. Had been doing really well, and then pulled back nearly 4% today, but just backed by that old buy point of 1970. So this one looks pretty good to me. I mean, if you want to get into that space, there's nothing wrong with this stock. It's holding up pretty well. Zim is one that I've talked about in the past. Broke out from this base, is stage one base, moved higher, had a pullback on Wednesday, and then had just an inside day today. So Zim looks pretty good too, allowing its moving averages to catch up. Yeah, it was down nearly 2% yesterday. GOGL. This is a Golden Ocean group. This one broke out of a base and has been ripping higher, pulled back to the 10 and found support and was up 2.5% today, which is not a lot of stocks up more than 2.5%, trading above their 10 today. So that one's looking good. And then Dorian LPG, liquid propane gas, liquid petroleum, liquefied petroleum. Did I say propane? Liquefied petroleum gas, transportation shipping pipeline, transportation pipeline stock, just forming a base, trading sideways, not going crazy, but it looks pretty good. Trading tight, and yeah, Dorian, those stocks are doing pretty well. Wanted to get into the tankers as well, the TNK, the oil and gas tanker. Yeah, this one broke out of a base, moving higher. That's TK Tankers, and then Sting, of course, STNG. It has nothing to do with Sting. It's Scorpion Tankers. I guess Scorpions do Sting. STNG broke out of a base and now moving higher. So those ones look good as well. So the shippers, the oil and gas transportation pipelines, those ones are doing well. Some of the software names are going to do some good stuff here. This is KD, down 2.6% today, but it broke out of a base. Rip Tire, ZETA is another one acting well. This is actually up 0.5% today, while the indexes floundered. Let me see. Oh, app has some sellers in there. Some KKE, I believe, are selling like 17 million shares. So it's going to take some time. I believe it's selling about 5 million a day. Yeah, 7 million. So it's going to take some time to eat up those shares. Okay. So it looks fine though. Broke out on earnings, now pulled back to the 10. And this is what you want to see, a bounce off the 10. And we saw a little bounce here, but we want to see a sharp bounce and challenge these old highs here of 88.50 for app 11. NTNX is another software name I have on the ready list. It looks like it was moving away from space. Just had an inside day today. Flat as a pancake. You can't get any flatter than that. So that looks pretty good to me. Okay, I'm going to move on to the insurance groups. Somebody said, that when the market's down and your stocks are down, I have shorter videos. So it's going to be a short video tonight because it was kind of a rough session. But Warren Buffett, the Oracle of Omaha, said filed in the 13F file. You don't want to be like sheep chasing these stocks that, these big fund managers, these big multi-billionaire people are buying. These 13F files are 2-3 months in the rear view mirror. So I don't entertain that at all. I have no interest in Chubb. I will acknowledge a base pattern here, in a breakout attempt today up nearly 5% with volume. Okay, so Chubb, Warren Buffett. Okay, move on. Bro, I do like the ticker symbol Bro. And the insurance companies, this is what I call pen action, right? From Buffett. Bro set up at a nice base here. Now it's been up, I don't know how many days in a row, what, 9 out of 10, 10 out of 11, something like that. And it's pushing away from this 87.99 buy point. I should have had that on my Reddit list this week, but I didn't. So you can't kiss all the babies, and I don't even try. This is Gallagher, AJG. This is another one that, this is a market cap of 55 billion. It's not a small company, but you can see this big base here, then it moved higher, and now it's formed another base here. And so I think it needs some time to form a little handle, get some of those profit takers and some sellers and day traders and swing traders out of there before it moves higher. So allow the moving averages to catch up as well. But Gallagher looks pretty darn good. The insurance companies, I don't want to go through all of them. Just the insurance companies were strong. The shippers, the oil and gas, transportation pipeline stock, some of the software, some of the insurance. Oh, I know what I'm going to go to. Some of these retail names, like Bros Coffee, is doing fantastic. You can see the group. Retail restaurants, 11 out of 197. This one has power. Sold off 7 weeks in a row. If I go to the weekly chart, and this is still emerging from this, long stage 1 base. So it's just emerging in my view. I think this has a long way to go, especially with this earnings line heading due north, just breaking out, all the sellers who wanted out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 weeks. That's 7 weeks of selling. Everybody who wanted out was out. Earnings came through, surprise to the upside. Here come the buyers. Here comes short covering, and this thing looks really strong off the lows of 26. 85 and now at 37. So that's a powerful move for Bros. BRCC, I got to mention them just because they're breaking out of a base here, and they're military veterans who started this coffee company. It came to market through a SPAC, but you can see this veteran founded coffee. I did try it. It's okay. What are you going to say? This had a double bottom base, broke out, moving higher. Okay, I'm going to move on. Sweetgreen's another retail restaurant name, and it looks great on the daily. It had this big, huge move, and then is pulling back a little bit. So on the weekly chart, it looks like a short stroke pattern where it advanced 42% and now didn't give back anything. It has within a 1% move with that's a nice breakout, and then not give much back or not give any back. That looks fantastic to me. That's Sweetgreen. I guess it's a conscious, health-oriented restaurant, which I have never been to. Anyway, so that's the good stuff. Those are doing well. Now, I got to mention some of the profit taking that we saw here today. And if you want to own an energy stock or heavy construction building, you got to watch these, because this is Sterling, broke out of a base, moving higher, saw some profit taking today, down 4%. This is normal action. It's just allowing these moving averages to catch up. And now I don't know if it's going to pull back to that old buy point of 116.36. It might. I kind of doubt it. I'm expecting it to kind of come into that 10 there. The 10 today was at 123.73, but it's going up, $1 a day. So the 10 to 21 are catching up. If it comes back to the 21 and starts to bounce, then that's your add-on, or maybe a place where you might for me, to add on, or if somebody wants to just buy it, that might be a point. But you have to wait. We don't buy the dips, we buy the bounce. You have to wait for the bounce, and this is Quant Services, no bounce, down 2.5% today. So Just got to watch it and wait. I think I think that's a buy point there, that 265. It's just, it's forming a base here, pattern rec's not picking it up. This to me looks like, nice little cup with handle on a short time frame. And it's just below that, right now. So I'm watching that one. Eaton, this one just pulled back to a moving average today. These stocks have been, real strong, and obviously the institutions are buying them. This one has got the David Ryan ants a couple times, pulled back a little bit today, nearly 4%, still looks really strong. Constellation, pull back today, 3%, still looks really strong to me. It just filled that gap there from, looks like Wednesday gapped higher. Yeah, with after the inflation data, 217.91, and the low is 219.76 yesterday. So today it closed that gap. So that's a positive constructive action. They're not going to go up every day, and you got to embrace pullbacks. It gives people a chance to get in if they want to get in, and people who want to take profits can take profits, and that's just the way the market works. Constellation's doing nothing wrong, looks fantastic. But it wasn't a great day today, and the HVAC stocks saw some profit taking as well. This one doesn't look as good because it's below the 21. So if you're in a strong market, in an uptrend, and all the stocks in the group are above the 21, you don't want to own the one that's slicing the 21. So fix to me is not looking as good as something like Modine or Modine. Semantics there, right? This one looks good to me. We had an earlier buy point here as it was trading, tight within a base, but it did move up above the standard paint by numbers buy point. It just keeps finding support at the 10. So we'll see if it can do that, tomorrow or next week. Pull back to that 10 and start bouncing. Once again, we do not buy the dip, we buy the bounce. Okay, so wait for these things to bounce, wait for the buyers to come in, and then we take action. And this is Carrier Global, just this is a nothing burger, just allowing the moving averages to catch up. Had a real strong move. There's going to be profit taking, 1%. I can't get excited about that. Train, another strong HVAC stock, just pulled back to its 10 today. Once again, don't buy the dip, buy the bounce. Wait for that thing to bounce. It's going to bounce at some point. You just don't know when. You just keep watching. Pulte Homes, I knew the home builders would be down today after the sales data came in, a little lighter than expected. But I think these are fine. You can see it's set up in a base here, cup with handle pattern, pull back 2.8% today. Not ideal, but like I said, they're not going to go up every day. There's going to be profit taking. This is a DHI, DR Horton. This one looks good as it broke, above a downtrend line and now pull back. So 4% move. That's a pretty big move. But once again, you don't buy the dip, you buy the bounce. So wait for these things to bounce. The home builders will bounce. Lennar, same thing, kind of as a DHI, just forming a base. Looks pretty good. Anyway, that's it for me. Like I said, when the market was like today's, just profit taking after a face ripping rally, that's fine. So I'm going to keep it short. I'll be back tomorrow morning. But I do have one more thing, and that is tonight, Applied Materials reported a pretty strong quarter. I did actually have a chance to look at that one. Yeah, nice revenues, down 1% after hours. There's a bunch of yahoos, trading after hours. We'll just see what happens tomorrow and next week with this. I think that report's going to be rewarded, but we'll see. You just got to wait. And I have this on my ready list because of the base and trading near a buy point. It's been tight within the base, so and showed the ability to move. Went from 148 to 214.91, and then got in this base. So it's shown the ability to move. It could do something like that once again and trade up, near 300 if it makes a similar move. So just keep be flexible and open-minded to all possibilities. Anyway, that's it for me today. I'll be back tomorrow. I doubt if I'm going to have many new stocks on the ready list. I had quite a few today. Some of the ones that I put on recently, CAMT was downgraded today. I thought it reacted pretty well to the downgrade. I was afraid it was going to really crash and burn, but it just had an inside day today. So that to me looks fantastic. And you got to expect these stocks that have big runs, 72 to 100, that's a big move. They're going to have trouble with this, big round 100 number. Speaking of which, Vertiv, which traded above it yesterday, pulled back today to its 10 EMA. I mean, this looks fine to me, but I still think it's going to have trouble with that 100 number. You can see it's had this massive move. I mean, from 44, 41 to 44 to 55, 72, the higher lows, the higher highs. It's going to probably trend higher, but I wouldn't be surprised to see it trade around that 100 level for a little bit. SMCI, another one of these that got hammered today, traded higher. It opened lower. If you want to take a look at the 5-minute chart, you can see that it opened lower and then traded right up. Man, it had this power off the lows and it was up pretty strong today and then just sold off the rest of the day. So to me, Supermicro still looks pretty good. Just forming a base. So and then Dell, of course, had this big move and just gave some back today. It made, a higher high, then whoops, pull back. So nothing wrong with that. Anyway, that's it for me today. Like I said, I'll be back tomorrow with some more stocks, I believe, that are doing well. And anyway, at mcstockcharts.com, we never give up.